The last 3 days of our 8-day tour was a trip down the Three Gorges of the Yangtze River by boat. We boarded the Victoria Jenna in Chongqing, a major port for cruises. At 9 p.m., we set sail. Our ship was very comfortable, and the cruise director was from Florida. Meals catered to Chinese and some Western tastes. We had English-speaking people at our dining table for fun conversations. On a very foggy morning, we stopped at Fengdu, the ghost city. It is said 2 officials from the Tang dynasty came to study Taoism and became immortal. Their 2 names together meant King of Hell. We just came ashore to shop and people watch. On Ming Mountain are Taoist and Buddhist temples and many sculptures of demons. Sailing downstream, we stopped at the port of Shibaozhai. This town was built at the foot of a temple, but was relocated when the Three Gorges Dam was built. We walked through the town, watching the people and seeing their wares along the way. When the Three Gorges Dam was built, the city flooded and was relocated. To us, the new housing looked much better. A $12 million retaining wall was built around the pagoda and temple. We reached the island via a swinging bridge, a little unnerving with a lot of people on it. The 180-foot pagoda was built alongside the rock without any nails in 1819. The Taoist temple at the top was built in 1750 and had many statues and carved walls. Before the pagoda, the temple could only be reached by iron chains. Continuing downriver, we docked at Fengjie, which is located at the western end of the Yangtze's Qutong Gorge. We noticed the white pagoda in the distance and set off to see it up close. We passed a city gate facing the river with views of the river below. As in every tourist stop, we were met by vendors, this one selling wooden massagers. A pleasant walled walkway led up to the White Pagoda, probably built in the Ming Dynasty. There was a little altar inside. Today it serves as a lighthouse. This walk was very nice with views of the river. This lady was smiling as Diane bought 20 massagers for her family.
We started the real scenic part of our cruise in the 5-mile Qutong Gorge. The sides of the gorge were as high as 1,300 feet. The low-hanging clouds gave the area a mystical feel. The Chinese name for the Yangtze is Chongqing, or Long River. It is the third longest river in the world, about 4,000 miles long, and the most important in China. Silt makes the river a brownish color. The river basin is home to 1/3 of China's 1.4 billion people. Half of the Chinese crops and 2/3 of the rice are grown around the Yangtze. The river is home to several endangered species, including the Chinese sturgeon, finless porpoise, and the Chinese alligator. As we traveled along, there were little towns here and there, and a couple of larger cities. The next gorge we came to was the 30-mile Wu Gorge. Our friends Pedro and Monsi invited us to join them on their private bow balcony. We had a great view and nice conversations with them. This stretch of the river had several mountain peaks, of which the Goddess Peak is the most famous.
They talked about these coffins. The people put coffins in these holes. They buried their dead there.
We can go swimming?
Yeah.
We soon docked at Qingxi town to take smaller boats down the Goddess Stream, a tributary of the Yangtze.
Totally, it's 2.5 hours. It's a round trip. You just relax and enjoy yourself.
The boat trip was great through the narrow passage, steep rock walls, and green vegetation on either side. We stopped at a large floating dock where local Tujia people sang and danced for us.
beautiful, and look guys here will sing a lot song for you. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Thank you.
They are doing the Bei Xiao, or hand-waving dance. On the way back, our guide also sang for us.
That's a great coffin cave right there. I think we need to go on a graveyard and find.
In the gorge's big caves and smaller holes were burial places for the Ba people who lived 2,000 years ago. Back on the Victoria Jenna, we entered the 41-mile Xiliing Gorge. It was known for being the most dangerous of the gorges, with whirlpools and rapids. It is now much calmer since the construction of the Three Gorges Dam and subsequent increased water depth. The damming of the river upstream has changed the water depth 60 to 200 feet higher.
The designated time for our ship to pass through the locks was midnight, so we got up to watch. Those gates go way down there.
Hope they're starting. Yeah, we're going down. One side and 4 the other.
reflects the ancient song of the locks. In a period of 3 hours, we dropped 350 feet over the course of 5 locks. It was interesting to witness. The next morning, we docked in Sandouping to visit the locks and Three Gorges Dam, the largest hydroelectric project in the world. Climbing up the ridge, we could see the 5-stage lock system, one going upstream and another going downstream. Each lock raises or lowers a vessel 65 feet. A visitor center provided a lot of information about the dam. The relief sculpture depicts the great undertaking of the Chinese people to harness the rivers, and the stone pyramid, the dangers of damming the river. The dam is 1.4 miles long, 60 stories high, and it took 17 years to build. It was mainly built for flood control and cheap, clean power. With the large reservoir behind the dam, large ships can travel easier, and it helps generate tourism. The negative of the project is that many ancient cities were lost with the rising waters upstream, and 1 million people were displaced. The increasing erosion means silt builds up and blocks nutrients from going downstream to reach farmland. The slower moving water affects fish and blocks their movement. Only time will tell if it was all worth it.
We continued down the Xiliing Gorge until Yi Chang, our eventual ending point. We docked at this nondescript, tiny place and were taken by bus to the city of Yi Chang, population 4 million. This poor section of town was settled by outsiders who came to work on the dam and never returned home. Flora took us to a nice riverfront park before our flight back to Shanghai.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome our face changer. Now please welcome our beautiful dancers.
轻轻地像今天醉了。 你双眼点亮的契约，又是一个把你心里点亮的契约。系上你的骏马，穿上美丽的衣裳，相逢姑娘一起走进爱的猪八戒。又是一个把你青春点亮的契约，又是一个把你梦想点亮的契约。跳起你的舞蹈，走进古老的音乐，一家和你一起走进爱的猪八戒。
We felt blessed to be able to travel to such a faraway land like China. It was definitely a different world from our home back in Michigan, but having traveled there and walked among its people, we now feel more globally connected to our neighbors that share this planet Earth.